The Halloween dungeon is probably the most frustrating thing I've ever tried to do in MineZ. Ever. So this dungeon was released on October 1st, and it was gonna be out for the whole month, right? So the builder Matt was like, oh yeah, someone's definitely gonna find it on the first day of release. So my group was like, oh heck yeah, it's gonna be so easy to find. Me and some other goons spend hours trying to find this thing. Like, I remember going up and down the map trying to find it. I spent at least 2 hours one day just straight trying to find this dungeon. But after about like 3-ish days, none of us had found anything. Like, we had no clue where it could possibly be. But then some post goes up on the forums on like around the 3rd day, I think, of the dungeon being out, and they had already beaten it and we haven't even found it yet. So I was here thinking, oh, it must be pretty easy if these guys have found it in like 3 days and they already beat it, right? After a while we found out it was right here below Loreful Mines. Like, how the heck did they find it? Look at this, you can't even see through this ice! Like, oh my gosh, dude. We found out where it is because they had like this picture showing them by the ice river thing, like by the grass, so we're like, oh, it's gotta be somewhere by this ice. This is what you have to do to even get inside the dungeon, okay? This is the first part. You go in the water and then you start swimming, and then there's like these cool little air holes underneath, and you can like breathe in them so you can get to the dungeon, which is over here. Then you can get in, but the town that you go into from these doors has like 1 billion spawners, including pigman ones. So before you can even try the dungeon, you have to dash over to this lava area without getting killed, and then you have to jump in. And I don't even know how they found this hole because it's so like out of the way. Then you jump in like this, and then you have to get out of these cobwebs, which is next to a zombie spawner. That's not really that bad, but still, it's annoying. And then you have to single file through here like you're in 2nd grade. And then boom, you're at the entrance of the dungeon and you can finally start. Compared to what you have to do next, this is like a walk in the park, I swear. So first you have to have at least 3 people, because later on you need them to open a door. So you don't even bother trying this dungeon without 3 people, it's gonna be impossible. You're gonna be chilling in this room eating snacks or whatever until everyone gets in. And then you're gonna do some fun lava parkour. Yeah. So everyone has to drop down here about the same time because there's a pigman spawner right here. And it's obviously a problem because we have to jump over to here. And that's kind of in the way, if you know what I mean. So assuming everyone lives, we then have to do this fun lava parkour room. It's not that bad, but it's still parkour and I suck at it. And then we start pulling out the big guns when we get to the thread the needle part. Yay, it's fun. What you're supposed to do is jump all the way from the top of this cliff into this tiny little puddle of water at the very bottom. But since that's pretty tough, I'd like to just climb down a little bit and do kind of a baby jump. But at the bottom, there are 2 pressure plates that open a door. All we have to do is get 2 people to stand on each one, and then the rest of the group can head on to the next room. Sounds easy enough. So in the next room, there are 6 rooms with 2 pressure plates in each room, so there's like 1 million of them. To get to the one after that, we have to put an item on every single plate in these rooms, right? This sounds super duper easy to do, but at the bottom of the thread the needle jump and in the pressure plate room, there's like 1 billion pigman spawners. Like, there's so many. Like, they're like covering the ceiling and the floor and the walls, and they're just everywhere, and it's horrible. So until very recently, I could never make it past the pressure plate room. I would always die, either from jumping down into the water, or in the water room because of the pigmen, or in the pressure plate room because of the pigmen. It was just so bad. We tried so many different strategies. We tried logging out in the rooms, logging in on the door pressure plates. We tried straight up just running through the room trying to figure a way out, but nothing was working. There were just so many pigmen. But one day, we did it. So I wasn't the first one in my group to get this far. There's some people did get this far and they beat the dungeon, but I just couldn't believe it, okay? I have done this dungeon so many times up to this room, and at the moment I felt like a legend. I had finally done it with some people. I had finally gotten past this room. So somehow we managed to get items on every single pressure plate, and so me and my friend ran all the way back to the end of the room where you have to click on this skull teleporter. So it was only us 2 because everyone else died, like putting items on or whatever. Like, no casualties, but whatever. I got it! I clicked the skull and I got into the next room. Like, holy moly, it took me so many times, but I can finally see what the end of this dungeon looks like. So now we get to do a fun little maze portion, okay? So all we have to do for this is push some items on pressure plates. It's not that hard, okay? There's actually no spawners in here, which is super nice, because, oh my gosh. If the rest of the dungeon was as hard as that room, I would be Dunyan Rings. Like, no, that would be so hard. So, alright, so some person made the maze portion, like on a map. So now we have these cool little things to help us out, which are super handy because I had no idea what to do here. So, we gotta drop some items on the pressure plates, and then we go up to the second floor. It's another maze, but it's really easy. We just have to find the exit because we have the map, and we totally didn't, use that map. I mean, what? And there's no spawners, like I said before. So then you go to the parkour room, right? So from what I've heard, it's pretty hard, but I didn't do the parkour. So you have to send one person into this other room, and they get to press some buttons for people. And that was me. I was the button presser. So I was just pressing buttons, doing my thing, and my friend died during the parkour. So I was the only one left in there, right? So that means we have to do the whole thing again. And I was so, like, sad, because I was like, oh, there's no way we can get past that pressure plate room. It's just so insanely unfair and hard. But I have no idea why, but suddenly, like, a bunch of people at that moment really wanted to do the Halloween dungeon. So I was like, okay, maybe we can do this. So I get on my alt after logging off on my main, and I gear up a little bit. I didn't get too much good stuff. I just wanted to get there so I can do it with them. And we did it all over again. Like 1 or 2 people or 3 people died in the parkour room. I think 1 person died at the thread the needle, and like 2 people died in the pressure plate room or something like that. But like 5 or more people got in through that pressure plate room. I was amazed, dude. And I got through it again too. And I was on my ult. I wasn't even armored. I just got through there somehow. So I was like super psyched because I was like, holy crap, we can do it now. Like, I feel like we are legends, dude. We got past that pigman room. This is so crazy. So we all go through the maze whatever again, and we do the parkour room. And I logged in on my main and I pressed buttons again. So we lost like 2 people or 1 person in the parkour room. But boom, we did it, dude. We beat the parkour room. It was so crazy. And so the prize was this cool spooky pumpkin head.
Walk up and
Alright, thanks for watching. See ya!